Next, move to Marius Martinsen, who is a police officer from Norway. I had a great privilege to speak at a Norwegian National Anti-Trafficking Conference a year ago, and after that, Marius contacted us and wanted to collaborate with us with regard to the guidance and the tools that we've prepared. And Marius has really effectively worked with colleagues from the Labour Inspectorate and the Tax Authority in Norway to address trafficking specifically in shipyards and boat building. So the Norwegian multidisciplinary cooperation model is also really interesting for us in Finland, and I look forward to hearing more about this. And we're also, of course, very happy that Marius has used Heoni's tools in his work. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Marius Martinsen. I'm the leader of a human trafficking group in Møre and Romsdal Police District in Norway. First, I would like to extend my thanks to the Flow team and Heoni for having me here. And I'm looking forward to getting to know the tools and guides even better in the future. I will now try to give you a brief presentation of our project. We have been participating in this for the 2 past years. This is an inter-agency project called Project Shipyard. The project's goal is to prevent labor exploitation in the shipyard industry in our region. The project is mainly based on crime-preventing measures. If I could get next slide, please. In our region, we have an inter-agency collaboration that solely focuses on labor-oriented crime. This unit consists of members from the police, the Norwegian labor inspection authorities, the city tax collectors, the Norwegian tax authorities, Norwegian Labor and Welfare Administration, known as NAV, and the Norwegian Public Road Administration. Most of these agencies have contributed to the project, but the police, labor inspection, and the tax authorities are the ones with the greatest responsibilities in the project. So far, we have been conducting 4 inspections at 4 different shipyards in our region. These inspections were held in January and February of this year, and we have inspected 41 different companies and interviewed 247 employees. Next slide, please. In 2019, the inter-agency collaboration received several anonymous tips. These were concerning the working conditions in the shipyard industry. This industry is one of the largest ones in our region and employs approximately 15,000 workers. When we received these tips, we realized that we did not have sufficient information about the industry to assess the tips and their severity. Because of this realization, we decided to conduct 2 inspections with the goal of gathering information about the current situation and to create a report that would work as a foundation for an upcoming project. This led to an intelligence report that was delivered to management in the agencies in the fall of 2019, and the project was started in January 2020. The intelligence report was a significant document in the planning of the inspections in the main project. Through the first 2 inspections in 2019, we realized that the shipyards are very large workplaces. Some of the shipyards had over 2,000 workers present at the time of inspection. This required a form of selection process to choose which companies we would inspect. We decided to make an indicator list that was based on sections gathered from the Heoni Guide, the guidelines for businesses and employers for risk management in contracting chains. The indicators were spread almost evenly between all the agencies, and we needed a joint effort to be able to assess the companies. The indicator list was a good tool in the first inspection, but we realized that several of the companies weren't reported to the tax authorities. The companies evaluated by the indicator list were provided by the tax administration. This meant the companies that had not been registered and run through the indicator list if they were not registered by the tax authorities. This made it challenging when we got out on the shipyards, when we met new and unknown companies, and we were not prepared to inspect these. This made us change the indicator list, and we decided to have a command and control center on site. The command and control center would arrive at the shipyard before the main task force and gather information about which companies were present at the time, and then follow the indicator list. The command and control center had members from all participating agencies. This also gave us a better dialogue with the shipyard management, because the command and control center would provide information about the inspection and be available for the shipyard management. After every inspection and following casework, we would have a meeting with the shipyard management and inform them of our findings. This is the crucial part of the project that aims to give the industry more information about the situation in their own supply chains, and also give them the tools on how to make better risk assessments in the future. As I told you, we have controlled 41 companies. On this slide, you can see they're originated from all over the world. Apart from Norway, the 4 largest were Italy, Romania, Poland, and Lithuania. If we go to the next slide, you will see where the workers originated from. We have a large portion of Polish workers. This is due to that we, in the first inspection, inspected some rather large Polish companies. If I can get the next slide. In our interviews, we asked the workers about how many days and hours they worked each week, and also how much time of the day they had for breaks. 90% stated that they worked 6 days a week and 54 hours. Most had 1 to 1.5 hour break each day. On the next slide, we also asked the workers about their wages and how much they earned per hour. In Norway, there's a Generalization Act that states how much different professions should earn as a minimum wage. For the shipyard industry, the act states that they should have 162.6 kroners an hour as a minimum wage. Based on the interviews with the workers, 25% stated that they had less than 100 kroners an hour, and only 53% stated that they had minimum wage or above. Next slide. Following the inspections, the labor inspection authorities would issue a production order to the companies, and they would submit the workers' contracts and timesheets. The documents received from the companies would be compared to the information gathered at the shipyard and from the interviews. At the shipyard, we gathered the on-site registration list. This would allow us to evaluate how much time a worker spent inside the shipyard. What we discovered in the project was that what the workers were reporting, they reported more work hours than what the companies had reported on the timesheets. This made it appear like the workers were getting minimum pay. But if we calculated based on the on-site registration list and the interviews, it was clear that they had far below the minimum wage. And we also discovered that some of the companies delivered different documentation to all regarding on what agency requested it. We would not have been able to discover this unless we had an agencies that collaborated in the project. Some of the cases are still ongoing, but there are several indicators that points towards wage theft by these companies. If I can get the next slide. In the project, we had several challenges. To mention some, there are problems regarding the timesheets and the port lists. These are essential in the calculation of the workers' real working hours. Some of the shipyards could not produce historical data from their on-site registration. This makes the cases very difficult when we only have information from the interviews and the documents sent to us by the companies themselves. The shipyards are extremely large working places. This requires that we have a very good indicator list that works efficient and reliable. We need to select the companies that poses the greatest threat, and this could be troublesome if we don't have enough information. There are also problems concerning identification. Several of the companies were not registered by the tax authorities, and which means that the workers most likely are not registered either. The supply chains are often extensive, and it's not always apparent which company the workers belong to. Some of the workers were actually not sure what companies they were working for, and some shipyards were not aware that they had certain companies working on their shipyard. In these cases, the companies had been brought in by subcontracting chains themselves. Sadly, COVID-19 came and affected our project a great deal, and we were not able to have any inspections from March until this day. We hope that the situation will improve and that we will be able to have inspections during 2021 and 2022. We are planning to have 4 to 8 more inspections in order to gather a larger database and look into the different aspects of the problem. We would like to see if larger shipyards differ from the smaller ones, and also get more information on the perhaps widespread wage theft in the industry. This is what I had prepared for today, and thank you so much for your time and attention. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them after the next presentation.
Thank you so much, Marius. This was very interesting.